Hockey weather, as you see, here in South Florida. Hour 2 brought to you by Culligan Water. Clear water, clear choice. Filter out the bad and taste the good. Culligan Water of Regina. Check them out at culliganregina.com. All right, we got more time to spend with Rich Sutter. I love it. 13-year NHL veteran, member of hockey's first family. Richie's got filled up on his coffee. Hey, Richie, happy, what day is it? Wednesday. How you doing, sir?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, I'm good, man. Everything's great. Talking hockey down here, talking to you. It's all amazing. And there's a lot of, this is like the NFL in terms of storylines in the NHL. We got a few that we can go through today. Do you have a take on Braden Point not only being healthy scratch for missing a meeting, but the team announcing it on their Twitter? I'm a little flabbergasted. How about you?
I am too. Someone made a point last night, a prominent hockey guy who covers a lot of games, and I do respect it to some degree. The point was said that, no pun intended, was that John Cooper doesn't do things like this unless there's been a little bit of a history of something. That's just not how Tampa operates now. He operates, and quite frankly, I was quite taken aback when I was trying to watch the game, going, "Where the hell's Braden Point?" And then it was brought up. I'm going like, "Really?" I mean, yeah, you could see you probably sleeping through with set your alarm on your cell phone, and it doesn't go off. That you miss it. But I would think that maybe you get your hands whacked a little bit for it, but to be sat out a game in such an important game, even though I thought they very much deserved to win the game last night, quite honestly. How well they played without him, but I was just taken aback. Like, maybe take the guys out for dinner, or take the trainers out for dinner or something for missing a meeting. But back when we played, if we knew someone was late, you never had cell phones. It was hard to get a hold of someone, right, Rod? So we do everything we could to delay the coaches. Someone would go in and bug the coaches about something, then someone else would go in and they'd say, "Screw off, we got a meeting. We're late for the meeting." And so we were always trying to buy time and find our guy. I'm surprised that didn't happen, but maybe his ringer, his cell phone was on silent. So, hey, I give him grace for it. He's a great hockey player. He's a great kid, and I love him. So, sucks, but it is what it is.
Maybe his phone died. I don't know. I'm with you on all of that. It's just the harshest form of punishment to out you in front of the world for this. Which, by the way,
yeah.
I met you in the lobby of the Lethbridge Ramada at a team meal. You came down to see Rich Preston, and he introduced us in about 1996. Were you still playing then, or did you just shut her down?
I just come home. Actually, I'd set up home base here for Ron and the kids. But, yeah, Rico and I, we still have a great relationship. Been on the phone with him actually a little bit here in the last couple of days. We're going to do a trip together. I got him hooked in. We're going to do a hot stove up in Savannah, northern Alberta, for the local community with him and Rob Brown, who played for him and Daryl and Mike in Chicago. So I'm really looking forward to that in March. Going to go up and have some fun and see the great northern Alberta.
I was going to say come to Florida, but you're going the other way. Well, please say hi to Rico.
Give me a damn reason to come down there, and I'll be there.
Okay. Next one. I think you're Penguins alum, too. They waived Tristan Jarry today. Sid the Kid said last night that the way that they're playing is unacceptable. They're standing. What's your take on the Penguins?
Oh, boy, I've been watching that team a lot lately, too, Rod. And, I mean, they are just – their game is all over the map. Their inconsistency is just up and down like crazy. And of course, I do feel for Tristan Jarry being a Western kid and being out here. But, I thought he had his game back on track a month or so ago after he went back down to the minors to Wilkes-Barre. But it seems that everything that's gone on in front of him, and when you're not making the save, it gets blown up right on you too. And you're giving up grade A chances and stuff, but at some point you got to make some saves for your team. And it's not that he's just not making saves. He's letting leaky goals go into, and as for Kyle Dubas, you hope that contract doesn't come back and bite him, because there's no snowball's chance in hell that anyone's picking up that contract on waivers.
Speaking of Western guys, I passed along your hello to Randy Moeller, the Penguins' great and broadcaster, and he mentioned, were you at his wedding in the 80s?
Oh, yes, I was.
He said it was the social event of the season. His dad rented the top floor of the Black Knight and bought a keg. So you were there, huh?
Well, yeah, we had a couple kegs. I remember. I wasn't in the wedding party. Ronnie was, but I do know that it was a great night to in honor and celebrate his and Kathy's wedding, and it was awesome. There's some weddings you don't forget, some parties you don't forget. That was one of them.
Yeah, the groom got kidnapped. There was a $5,000 ransom demand. We won't go down that road. Okay. To another former team of yours, Rich. I'm not calling you a suitcase, but the Canucks. What's going on?
Well, honestly, I think the thing that's really hurt them has been injuries, and that's not an excuse, because every team goes through them. But boy, some teams have had an exorbitant amount of man games lost. Vancouver being one of them. And obviously, they're not playing up to snuff compared to last year. But I'm kind of sick and tired of the Pedersens and Millers, whatever it is they got going on, being drugged through media, being asked every day. If people would just leave it alone. Look, these guys are great hockey players, and I've been in plenty of dressing room where everyone didn't get along, but the common denominator is find ways to be within the team structure, win hockey games. And it's just not those two guys that aren't playing well. There's other guys as well, too. And yeah, talk keeps kind of taking the heat off and saying that's on me to find ways to get these guys better. To a degree, it is. But you know what? In today's game, take some personal responsibility as a player also to get it figured out. And look, I'm a fan of those guys. I'm a fan of those two players especially. I take them on my team 7 days a week. And I live and die with them. So I hope they can figure it out, and I just wish that the noise that the media keeps talking about it would just let it quiet down, at least to some degree.
Well, by the way, I'm teasing you about the suitcase thing. You had a wonderful 13-year career. I loved watching you play. And I know you're a very proud Canucks alum. So, I mean, would you be dealing these guys? You played with Tocchet, too. So, what's the way out for this?
Not a chance. Not a chance. It's you keep playing these guys and you keep talking to them. And I like JT Miller's comments a couple weeks ago when he was brought up to him, and you could tell he was pissed off about it. And he said, do you guys want me to bring him out and we'll talk about it here together if you guys think we actually got a personal problem? Because I can go do that right now. So, look, I like I said, I played with guys who I didn't get along. I played with some guys they didn't like how I played in practice. And when this started coming up about the stuff about how JT pushes players and pushes teammates, well, good for him. Good for him. And you just got to be careful which guys you push and how hard you push them. I had some guys I played with, you know what? Guys who come to me in the locker room after practice and they go, you can't practice like that. You can't work that hard or be that competitive in practice. And they get that I had to play that way every day. I never took a day off unless the coaches told me not to skate or the trainers. And I had to play that way because at 7 o'clock tomorrow night, when I got to protect your ass and have your back because you're the star, the switch doesn't just go on at 7:02. And I think that's how JT is wired. And maybe he's just got to pick his spots a little better with who he's got. But you know what? I love that guy. I love them both, actually. So, like I said, I'll take him all day long, 7 days a week, and I'll go to my grave with them.
I'd love to know who that player was, and I know you won't tell me, but he didn't obviously know who he was talking to. But when I was in Vancouver in November for Grey Cup, this is what I heard about Pedersen. Too much pressure in that town for him. That the heat gets in his noggin, and what do you think about that?
I agree, because he's a quieter guy. Look, Talk and the coaching staff, these guys have been through a world of experiences, good, bad, and different, with that coaching staff. They know how to work with these guys and be personal with these guys and get down behind doors with these guys in terms of how to have them, listen to them talk. It's just not about how you're always talking, Rod. It's also about the tone of your voice, and you can tell if a guy's down or not down. And and Petey is a quiet guy by nature. You can tell. But I know there's a fire within him. I've seen him do it before, and I know he'll do it again. I just hope they can come out of this funk. Look, they're too good a team. I still think they got a legitimate chance to win it now that they got their defense core back and the guys are slotting correctly in the back end in terms of their pairings. Look, I like that group, and I hope that they can figure it out soon.
I shouldn't be smiling. What I'm smiling about is this Braden Point thing being scratched because I got Lightning fans on my ass saying you only talk about us when it's negative. I'm like, well, welcome to Canada, guys. Like, this is what we do, right? Like, look at the Leafs. They've lost 3 in a row, and they're like ready to fold the team up there. Oh, my God. You don't like being talked about? You're in the wrong league. Go ahead.
And I love Chiefs last night about the loss, or the other day about the loss, like getting booed off the ice, and and he was so matter of fact, and he said, look, he goes, it happens in every city, it happens in every team, that it's just not us. So you know what, it is what it is. Like, it's not like, oh my God, the roof is falling down and they're booing us off the ice. He was so matter of fact about it. He goes, it happens in every city. Like, so next question.
It broke up there when you mentioned that. Was that Berube, you said?
Yeah.
Or who was it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah. It happened here too, by the way, when the Panthers got shut out 4-0 by Montreal in here. Dude, I got to ask you about the Habs. Their fans, they're good. Their fans, some are really good friends of mine, saying the rebuild, it's done. The ship's come in, baby. What do you think?
Yeah. No. I mean, they're a talented group. Look, a month ago, everyone wanted Marty St. Louis' head, who at times looked like he had no clue what he was doing behind the bench. I mean, let's be honest. And there is a breadth and a wealth of talent in that group, coming through the yin yang on that. I mean, up and down that lineup, and it's just a matter of them figuring it out. And at the end of the day, you can have all the skill in the world. If you don't play within structure and if you don't work your tail off, you don't win in this league. The margin of error is so tight now. A bounce here, a bounce there, a Tristan Jarry not making a save. It's a huge difference. And just going back to what Sydney said, is consistency. Consistency is also working the right way all the time and believing in something and staying with it. And that's what Montreal has started to finally do. But you know what? They've still got a ways to go. If anyone thinks they're planning the parade in Montreal, maybe better wait for at least 2 or 3 more years.
You're right about the talent, though, because I saw them through here. They're awesome. If they can keep it together and work, they're going to be real good, which is not Chicago. I'll end it on this. Sorry to say, another one of your former teams, right, Richie? The Hawks?
Yep.
Do you see them coming? Because I do not. I'm going there for 2 games this weekend. Nope. So I'm excited to see them live myself, but that just looks like a dog's breakfast to me.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on there. You bring a GM in, bring a guy that with no GM experience running your hot club and making all these changes, and they bring in all these guys that thought they were going to make, stabilize the group this year. It hasn't happened. I'm a big Luke Richardson fan, and I thought he was a hell of a scapegoat for someone else's mistakes. But that's what happens in our sport, right? And I want to see them do well. Yeah, they got some talent coming. Yeah, they do have some picks that are on the rise and guys that will be there. But they've got to develop too, and that speaks about what's going on in your organization, who's developing, how you're developing. Do I think the guy they got behind the bench now is the answer? I think it's too early to tell that. But I just pray to God they get some more guys in that can help Connor Bedard. There's only so many Dickinsons and Felinos in the world. You got to find 2 or 3 other guys too.
Yeah. Well, sure. But Taylor Hall, Patrick Maroon, it's like, what are you doing here? Like, it doesn't look like there's a plan, I guess is what I'm getting at.
No, and it's concerning, Rod, because I do follow all the teams very closely. I know it drives my wife Rhonda nuts, so how much I do follow it. But look, I love this game. I want to be back in the game. I'd love to go back and work for a group or an organization. But one way to do it is stay on top of things and pay attention. And when you've been there and done it and been in the trenches as long as I've been playing and post-playing, you can read between the lines on a lot of nights what's going on.
Absolutely. Well, there's no one better than you, Rich. Thanks for the time, and we'll chat later today.
Awesome. Thanks, Rod. Have a great day. Enjoy the sun.
Thanks for the time. 13-year NHL veteran, Rich Sutter. Veteran personnel guy and media guy, too, although they never like to admit that. The rest of the way, it's you and me. Whatever you'd like to talk about, plus a sports update. We are live on Game Plus Television, streaming live and podcasts wherever the best podcasts are found.